Hi everyone, it's Jen again. Hope you had a good week. This week seems like it's been kind of a pivotal week for me, at least in my game development world. Given that I did finish Arcane Dice Wars as I planned, so I started this project back in November 2022, and now about 2.5 years later, I'm finally done. Given that it's a maybe 30-hour to play through RPG. I think that's actually not a bad amount of time. Again, given that I work full-time and I have a family to take care of and that sort of stuff. And I don't really feel like I was working at a breakneck speed. I don't feel like I was, undergoing a marathon, a grueling marathon or anything like that. It felt more like I was just kind of on a chill ride. So I don't even know that I want to pat myself on the back right now for finishing, other than I'm glad to have a complete story to share with you all. And for those who were following the story, following the development, it kind of ties us up with a neat little bow. Where I go from here, I've already got my next project planned, so I'm very excited to start on that. I might spend the rest of the month just working on some concept stuff, maybe playing around with the battle system a little bit more. And I'd like to work on some gifts for some friends who were supporting me through the Arcane Dice Wars development as just a little thank you, as well as maybe a little thank you for the community as well. I thought maybe this video I would talk a little bit about how I went about structuring the endings. I don't even know that I can say that there's that many endings because most of the endings are variations. I would say that the variations are worthwhile to play through, as in they're different enough that it shouldn't feel too repetitive going through the different variations. But as far as learning about the world and the lore and the themes of the story are, I would say, the same across like the main 5 endings. So that way, if you are not a completionist, if you had a particular character that you were homing in on, and you didn't have any desire to, like, say, romance like the other characters, you wouldn't feel like you were missing out like on a huge chunk of information. I don't really care for the structure in visual novels that kind of like force you to play through all the different routes in order to kind of like unlock like the main secret route that ends up being a gigantic twist that recontextualizes like everything in the story. Maybe it's because my time is precious to me that I don't want to force any players personally to have to go through all that. So there are main 5 different endings, with the longer endings really being like I guess what you would consider like the good ends. If you side with the gods or if you side with the old ones, that's the biggest deciding factor. If you decide to go home or you want to stay in the Arcane Dice world, that would be very easy to arrange with probably the same save file. And that will also determine kind of whether or not you have a happier ending or a more bitter ending. With the old ones, if you decide to stay, you'll have a happier ending. If you decide that you want to go home, you have a more bitter ending. And if you side with the gods, if you decide to go home, you'll have the happier ending. And if you decide to stay in the Arcane Dice world, then you'll have the more bitter ending. And I structured this way because I don't really see personally the gods or the old ones as being like good or bad. They have different goals and different outlooks, and aligning with them throughout the final decision will net you kind of the happier ending, and not aligning with them will net you the more bitter ending. And I think that helps kind of like show the two sides of both factions in the war. Just kind of helps flesh out both sides in that way. They're both kind of morally gray in that regard. I think they both have like good points and bad points. So if you were to go through the story and just be interested in romancing one character, you would be able to see all those different sides, and you would get to spend those endings too, having a little bit extra time with the character of your choice, as well as, you know, choosing different characters. I didn't want to like penalize the player for choosing a particular character, so that's kind of why they all have that main framework with just the variations to give it that like flavor on top. But like the main themes and the main part of the story, the main events of the story, and like learning about the world and how it works and everything is pretty consistent throughout the different characters. There's like little tiny things that get revealed, I guess, that if you again were a completionist, that it might benefit to like go through all the characters' routes, like voting on voting during the elections. During one of the series of variant endings, different characters will talk about different votes, the outcome of the election, based on whether or not you supported or decided to go against that particular vote. The character will comment on how you shaped the result of that vote, and once that policy was enacted, how that made a little effect on the community and how they feel about it. But it's character specific, because certain characters will care more about certain issues than others. So yeah, just little stuff like that, that I do want it to seem like the player's choices do matter, but at the same time, again, not penalizing them for choosing certain things. And hopefully it'll be enjoyable. I feel like I need to go back at some point and make a few corrections. I know that my copy editor is going to come back with some edits for me, so I think that'll be a good time to just kind of like go back and review and see if I want to make any changes while I'm at it. And this upcoming week, I'm going to be playing around with making some crafts. Probably the laser cutter, the Cricut, and did want to try working with some resin. So if any of that interests you, I'll probably make a video about it, what I end up coming up with, for those who are into making digital art and perhaps want to make some types of like little crafty stuff related to that art. It just it feels good to have something physical, tangible to hold on to. This upcoming week, the collaboration video should be coming out as well, so I'm excited to see how that turned out. And yeah, that's all I got for now. Take care. Good luck with any creative journeys you're on, and you never really do reach the end of the road, at least not for me. It's like I took one trip and I'm already filling up the car with gas to go on another one, and I'm excited for that. Yeah, take care, have a good weekend, and don't forget to enjoy the process. Bye.